Interior design is what I do, and I believe it's one of the most important design disciplines when it comes to defining the spaces we inhabit. In this series, we look at some of the best interior design projects from around Australia. Welcome to Australia by Design Interiors. Our panel of design industry leaders have come together online to judge some of the best interior design projects from around Australia and decide which projects will make it through to our top 10 later in the series.
Over the years, there's been a lot of interior design shows, and I feel that so many of the results are getting a little bit same. And what I really found here is that we had interior designers and projects that were really pushing the boundaries and creating really personable spaces that were completely tailored to their client.
In this episode, it's all about the detail, confident and striking homes that speak volumes about their owners and designers.
It's a great example of a project where they didn't necessarily agree to all the fittings, fixtures and finishes in the project.
From the patterned limestone wall, which really makes you just want to get tactile with that, to black features throughout.
Certainly the decisions that were made were very complementary to one another, and the finished product has worked really well.
When the architecture of a house is really bold, there's a risk that the interiors can look like a long-forgotten cousin. I mean, you question, are they even related? I'm a little concerned that in this next project, that just may be the case. This is a bit of spectacular architecture. It's really bold. How did you make it feel like a family home?
I like to use a lot of materials, a lot of natural materials actually, because...
So like this?
Yeah, so that's an American walnut.
It's beautiful.
We've gone for a crown cut, so it gets a really beautiful patterning to it.
Yep.
Lots of texture, lots of grain, lots of warmth. We've introduced a lot of tactile materials, so...
Is that like this?
Yes, so this is a limestone. Basically, we tried to select something that really tied in with the concrete, similar tones. It's got varying depths to it and also different textures, so it's created a really tactile surface that you want to touch.
Sorry, I just have to feel that because you really get that sense, don't you? It's like some of it's rough and some is smooth.
Yes, so we did this little tag here just to give that variation.
Yeah, sure.
But it's really important that every single material that we select ties in cohesively. I kind of like to describe it like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Every piece has to fit perfectly.
And that's what architecture and design is, isn't it really? Like doing a jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, there's thousands of decisions that need to be made.
Yeah. So you've got a strong element here, which is a black kitchen bench. That's a really interesting material. It's got a texture. What is it?
So it's a granite. It's been flamed and brushed, which gives it a really tactile finish. Really hard wearing, doesn't show up any fingerprints.
And also has to be able to withstand a family.
Yes, so that was one of the main items of the brief, that had to be...
How many kids? 3 young kids?
3 young kids, so it had to be hard wearing, durable, yet, you know, timeless and sophisticated. The client wanted to incorporate black and silver into the material palette. So this is kind of a reference for them. The tiling underneath was also another way we could incorporate black, but I also love the way that it kind of speaks to the limestone wall.
Definitely, and also it's really hard wearing when the kids kick it.
Exactly, yes.
So the house has a real Japanese vibe. Was that intentional?
They really wanted to create an inner city retreat.
Yeah.
It's really nice to borrow beautiful materials from Japanese architecture.
Which it has a lot of timber.
Yes, there's lots of timber. There's actually 3 different timbers on the project.
Right.
We have black butt on the floor, we have cedar timber frame glazing, and we have American walnut as a feature veneer.
All beautiful timbers.
All stunning, but a little bit risky putting them all together, being different colour tones, but we think the end result is really stunning.
What are the pendants up there?
So these are Tom Dixon silver mirror balls.
Yeah.
We selected a few different sizes and put them in a cluster basically at varying heights because we really wanted to draw attention to that double height volume.
Yeah.
And it creates a really spectacular entrance because we have them at the front.
Yeah. And they're actually, as I look at them now, that you're sort of looking in the distance to landscaping in the distance, but they're reflecting parts of the house. They're actually quite amazing. Irene, this is a stunning house, and I hear that you had a lot of involvement.
Yes, we did.
You particularly?
Yes. We were living across the road at the time of building,
Wow.
so I was heavily involved. I was able to come every day.
You've obviously got a young family, so that you had to use durable, robust materials.
Yes, we did. We really wanted a neutral palette. We wanted it to be timeless, and we wanted it to be natural materials and nice and light and airy.
So often couples can have, and including myself, have just a big blowout on one selection. How was it with you and your husband working together? Obviously, was he involved as well?
Yes, he was very involved, especially initially in all the selections. Wood frames. He did not want the wood frames.
Oh, really?
No, the cedar wood frames. He wanted low maintenance, metal or wood look. So that was probably our one point of difference.
And did you want the timber?
Absolutely, I wanted the timber.
So you won.
Yes.
Not that it's a competition.
No, and on that I won, but there were other compromises.
What were the other ones?
My husband wanted a lot of black in the house. I don't like black myself, but we compromised, and I think it does work really well within the home.
This space is beautiful. It feels like a cathedral.
Yeah, we followed the roof line of the architecture to create the raked ceiling, and it creates that really beautiful, spacious volume.
So Olivia, I have to ask you, is this a piece of art? I mean, it's beautiful worn up, but what actually is it?
No, it's a screen. Let me show you.
Wow, that is beautiful. That beautiful round window framing the tree through.
It's a stunning piece. Yeah, it's got a really random kind of interesting composition to it.
And a beautiful steel frame as well.
Yeah, and we've painted that black just to highlight that circular form.
Well, this is particularly Japanese. It's got that Japanese, continuing that Japanese vibe. It's stunning, I love it. And this is such a beautiful room. Well done.
Thank you.
In this house, the bold architectural statements pierce and frame the beautiful interior design. So they not only relate, but they sing in harmony. And that's how it should be.
We've been following this project at Wattle since its inception, and it's so exciting to see it finally in all its glory.
Villa Carmelina draws on cultural memory. There is so much richness and depth to this project that I just can't stop looking at it.
Welcome to one of the most extraordinary internal makeovers you will ever see. When this grand old Italianate terrace needed a makeover and one of Australia's leading architects moved in, the result was always going to be extraordinary. This has become a self-portrait, combining materials, texture, bathed in light. It's a form of visual poetry.
I'm Scott Weston, I'm an architect, and the 6 major design principles of this home are architectural lighting, art as being an art collector, colour, pattern and decoration, the kitchen being the heart of the home, landscaping being artifice and real, and probably one of the key most important design features within this house is where east meets west. And we just happen to be meeting, Pete, under the moon gate.
This is an extraordinary bit of knick-knack that now separates the 2 front rooms of this grand old Italianate terrace.
Yes.
But everywhere we look, all these pinks and all these finishes you've actually created for this home.
Exactly. I had a vision of what I wanted and I couldn't find those colours. So I gathered sources and materials, fabrics, and from that I put it under a photospectrometer with Wattle and I created those colours, and those colours appear throughout the house in different guises.
And of course, in any interior design, it's a mixture of colour and texture, but it always comes down to light.
Architectural lighting also doesn't actually have to be expensive.
Case in point, this looks extraordinary, and it's a lot simpler than you might think.
It is indeed. It's actually made out of Tyvek, which is the building wrap that builders use on the outside of homes for weather protection. And it was hand pleated and stapled as a prototype. All a little bit dodgy, but the effect was there. And then we took it to a woman who makes traditional lampshades, and she absolutely said, I can do it because you've given me something that I can actually work from. And the third design principle, which is The kitchen being the heart of the home, we transitioned from a Victorian terrace into a very modern addition. The idea was you came out into beautiful black and white terrazzo floors, the aesthetic of having grey masonry blockwork walls that were linear planes that went out and connected into the courtyard. And because those materials are grey and they're quite hard, counterbalance that with beautiful hemlock walls, nice palette of materials and finishes. We want to tell a story, and that story is based on the inherent set of design rules that we've been talking about, and then they kind of like appear or disappear depending on what room you're in.
Getting natural light down through the centre of the dark plan is critical in these old terraces, and Scott, you've done well with the big skylight.
Yeah, it's a very generous. We've actually taken it all the way, so it's one amazing big glass roof, skillion, and over the top I've put a film which is a bit like wearing Polaroids. We get great quality light, but it stops UV deterioration of artwork and furniture.
Into the master bedroom and ensuite, where we explore the fourth of Scott's principles, colour, pattern and decoration.
Exactly. Beautiful feature wall, timorous beastie wallpaper, amazing joinery, all architectural bespoke. There's a lot of things going on in here, but it's the way in which you put it together that it actually works. Now, for the actual fifth architectural principle, I want to take you out onto this, which is external landscaping. There was a real opportunity here to actually create this artificial landscape, which is we call the field of flowers. And if you look closely, Peter, you'll see that this is the colour scheme that actually appears when you first walk into the house. I've got one other architectural design principle to show you, and I'd like you to follow me.
Okay. I think it was Jim Morrison who said that in this life there are things that are known and things that aren't, and in between are the doors.
The sixth and most important feature, design principle in the house, is the artwork and the display of artwork within the home, whether or not be painting, sculpture, or in this instance, a beautiful foil wall made of glass mini mosaic tiles.
This is extraordinary. This is like standing in a piece of artwork. Finally, I'll let you in on a little secret, one of the master's tricks, exploring the 6 design principles in this model.
Exactly. So the 6 principles for Villa Carmelina is colour, pattern and decoration, the idea of landscape being real or artificial, kitchen being the heart of the home, collector, an art collector of all things beautiful and how to place them throughout the space, architectural lighting, key, and the last one, where East meets West.
Well, this is not Alice in Wonderland. This is Scott's own real world. But thanks for letting us in on your imagination.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Pete.
We're looking for some of the best interior design projects from across Australia. Each episode, our judges will decide which projects make it through to the series final.
What I love about this project is this beautiful mix of materials and textures. You can really feel the owner's personality come through.
She had very interesting choices of lighting, and then she used textural wall hangings to really add that 70s element.
I'm so excited about this story. It's a chance to take a step inside the chef's pantry, the fashion designer's wardrobe. Simone HAAG is a renowned Melbourne interior stylist working and awarded around Australia and internationally on high-end residential projects. But today we've been invited into her own home, often photographed and held as an inspiration for aspiring designers. Hi Simone, it's so nice to see you.
Romy, so good to see you. Welcome to our house.
How's that steep driveway?
I know, it's a workout.
It certainly is.
Look, I think the house passed in quite a few times at auction, and I think it was probably the driveway, among many other things that turn people off. But my husband's in landscaping and hard landscaping, so he saw it as opportunity.
These concrete steps are amazing.
I know, we love them. We saw this idea in Palm Springs on a research trip for the house, and yeah, couldn't wait to execute it. And what it does do, it gives you various layers of the arrival experience.
It's gorgeous. Well, enough about the outside. Let's check it out. Simone, this space is beautiful.
Oh, thanks, Romy. We love it. What I love the most, I think, is that mid-century modern floor plan. I love this moment as you enter, because you stop and you pause, you have a coat cupboard, you take people's coat, you hang up your coat, you leave your day behind, and then what happens is the home opens up.
Yeah, absolutely. You sort of walk in and then you're open to this beauty. Love this fireplace. Very eye-catching.
It's actually one of the only original surfaces from the house. Everything else was painted, recovered, resurfaced. But it's an incredible spot, and this is the spot to be.
Oh, it certainly is.
On a winter's night, we love it.
How's this joinery?
Yeah, well, before we did our second renovation, Romy, this was actually a balcony. Once we extended the house out, it gave us this opportunity here for more curios, more artwork, and my special secret TV. Yeah, what I love about that is when the kids are being naughty, you can sort of surreptitiously hide
the
remote control. Sorry.
Simone, this view is incredible.
Yeah, we love it. Obviously, there's part nature, part industry, part transport. You see trains coming and going, and the birds flock past literally at eye level. It's like you're looking at it from a completely different angle, from a treehouse almost.
Absolutely, you're really on top of the world.
Yeah, yeah, after that driveway, absolutely.
Yeah. Love the lamp.
Yeah, when I was in New York, actually, I saw this, and it was a bit hard getting it home. Didn't get it on carry-on, as you can imagine. But for me, lighting has to be low hung. It just really highlights objects, books, any little curios that I'd like to put underneath it. It's not a practical light by any means. And sometimes I think I have hung it a little bit low because trying to talk to someone on the other side involves a little bit of ducking and weaving. But for me, it was about filling this beautiful space
Oh,
here.
it's truly superb.
And it gives you a lovely vignette when you look up from the street and you see this glowing light. It's really welcoming. So it is as much sculpture as it is a lighting source.
Beautiful.
This is Ralph. Oh,
Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, he's eyeing off my couch.
Hello, Ralph. It's huge. So this is the master.
Yes, this is our master bedroom, but this wasn't always our bedroom. So we used to be where the kids are.
It isn't the largest bedroom I've seen, but what a clever use of space.
I think sometimes bedrooms, the size of bedrooms can be a badge of honour. I personally like a more modest sized bedroom. I think it feels more cosy, and I think certainly by painting the room dark, often people will say, won't that make it feel smaller? But that's precisely the point. I think you want to feel cocooned in your bedroom.
And it's so intimate.
Yeah, and also what I love about the room is that it does give you a chance to display all my bits and pieces, and certainly by swapping the rooms as part of our renovation, we've actually able to find ourselves a new robe, a new desk space, and ensuite and outdoor.
I love this little area here. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah. So this was actually just a dead corner beforehand, and I wanted something that was in this perspex because what it is, it's there but it's not there.
Absolutely.
And having it transparent was a deliberate tactic to make it, I guess,
not feel closed in.
Exactly right.
I love the light coming through the doors there and that beautiful Zen garden.
Yes, I do dream of doing meditation and yoga out there. I can't say it's happened yet with 3 children under 5. And what we love about it is this is actually the northern light, and before it was entirely bricked up. So the architect's advice was open up to the north, and what it does do is it gives you a sense of the outdoors, nature, and also having a shower in there is pretty special.
That's amazing. Simone, you must feel so connected to this beautiful home.
We are really connected, Romy, and I think what it has done is it's shown how a small house can grow with a family. Obviously, we're here as newlyweds, just Reese and I, and now it's able to accommodate us, our 3 children, and Ralph.
Yes.
But it also shows the beauty of what the inspiration is what you surround yourself with. That the house doesn't have to be grand in scale to be luxurious and beautiful.
This was a simple 1960s suburban home, and in some ways it still is. But with layering, clever curation, this is accessible design that has infused a personality. It's magical.
Sarah Stephenson is one of Australia's leading colour experts, and together with Wattle, Sarah is choosing one project from the series to award the Wattle Best Use of Colour Award. The winner will receive Pantone's latest colour forecast kit. Sarah and Wattle use macro trends and consumer behaviour insights to create trends through bespoke photography and storytelling.
And the winner will also receive a private preview of Wattle's 2021 colour forecast. The winner will be announced later in the series.
I'm looking for many things, but I think a project that really demonstrates the understanding of colour association and the human psychological and physiological response to colour is really important.
And now, time for the judges to reveal which projects from this episode will go through to the best of the best final later in the series. Their first choice from this episode is Villa Carmelina.
The richness and depth is what makes this one worthy of being a finalist.
It's a unique and personal project and an amazing piece of design.
And St Leonard's Avenue.
In this design, what you see is some very interesting elements, contrasting materials and ambiguous features.
They've really designed a project or a home that is actually quite timeless.
Congratulations to both of our finalists, Villa Carmelina and St Leonard's Avenue. Be sure to join us next time as we continue the search for more outstanding projects on Australia by Design interiors.